Bidenomics continues to destroy the middle class, and it seems nobody cares. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, April the 21st. And, well, you can see Bidenomics at work at its finest as inflation continues to skyrocket. The potential of a rate cut, which, again, there is no need for a rate cut. We have to remember that the free market would price itself if it would remain free. But, of course, with this idiot in charge now and with this Federal Reserve that is no longer on mandate. Okay, now just so if you're not aware, the Federal Reserve is supposed to be a private corporation, which of course was started by four criminals: Paul Warburg, the Rothschild family, J.P. Morgan, and the Rockefeller family. But at the end of the day, the Fed has two mandates: jobs and price stability. Not what the stock market does day to day, not making rate cuts to help a presidential election. None of that applies. And of course, we continue to watch the Fed do ridiculously dumb things. And of course, this goes back to Alan Greenspan, who is the original bubble builder. And of course, has continued through Bernanke, whatever the bitch's name was, and Powell. But at the end of the day, they have done nothing but destroy the middle class, destroy your dollars, make inflation go crazy, and make your life worth less. And of course, if you've been buying auto or home insurance, the maintenance cost of insurance and taking care of yourself has gone skyrocketing. But of course, we don't have inflation according to our government. They're telling us that inflation continues to drop. But of course, anybody who's been to the store, anybody who's bought insurance, anybody who's done anything knows that that's the biggest bunch of bullshit that there is. That inflation is not dropping, and in fact, it's rising. Have you seen what you paid for gas recently? Okay, and of course, you have an administration in power now that has done nothing more than create hatred. Okay, which we'll get to more in our commentary. But the Hamas protesting, shameful. Okay. Existing home sales continue to sink. And now, again, everybody tells me how great real estate is. Well, I just sold the house. I had to take another beating on another house. Okay, so what I can tell you about this is that when builders are building and they're offering rates, okay, at lower than you can get even if you have great credit, that's telling you that there's a problem going ahead. You don't think there's a problem? Okay, you think that these banks are as in good a shape as they tell you, as the deposits outflow, okay, as the withdrawals are, as money is flowing out of the bank, not into the bank. You don't think that these banks are over leveraged? One time I'd love to see a real auditor go in and do the books for these banks because of the fancy accounting tricks that they use, okay, to steal, our money. Gee, another shocking development that the banks, private corporations, are stealing our money as well, because of course we get the benefit of bailing out banks when they go bust again. And you can bet your ass they're going bust again. Okay, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be next week, but they're in trouble, and you're going to see it when all this debt has to be repaid. Okay, and when every homeowner that has been given credit, because now you don't have to prove that you have good credit. Now you get the opportunity to just push some buttons and you get your credit score raised. Now, where the fuck did that ever come from? That you can get your credit score raised by doing nothing, but doing something stupid, okay? And that allows you to get a better credit, get more credit, okay? Now, that does tell you that, of course, what we've said all along, that the banks in current structure are nothing but criminals anyways. Because at the end of the day, they're creating new money. They're giving away, they're well past their 10-to-1 loan ratio. So again, if you go back and read The Creature from Jekyll Island, you will see exactly what's happening, because everything that was written about in that book 35 years ago has come to play. Okay. The world economic myths are hitting their limit. I mean, do you think that the world is in good shape? You know who's in good shape? The extremely wealthy are in good shape. The politicians are in good shape. But the middle class, you are getting ready. If you're not aware of what a serf is, well, you better start getting prepared, because that is the direction that you're headed. We are headed into the Chinese Communist Party. Okay, if we're not careful, because of course if you understand the fentanyl crisis, all that fentanyl is coming out of China and being brought to this country. Okay, creating death, creating people that are addicted, creating drug users. Again, of course, and let's continue to let China handle our prescription drugs. God forbid that we should probably manufacture here. And again, I stand by my statement of a couple of weeks ago that China may be the ones putting the pressure on farmers in the grain markets, trying to force them out so they can take over the food supply. Remember that China already owns the United States-based Smithfield, which is the largest hog producer in the world. Okay, I think that we can see that the weak leadership from our president, okay, is got the world ablaze, man. They're laughing their ass off, okay, and just waiting to take their little piece from an imbecile that has no business being in office, that has created more hatred in his terms in office, has done more destruction and damage to the American economy. And I know at least one of you that I know is going to start saying, well, but look at what's going on. And I say, yeah, really, look what's going on. Okay, look what's going on. Look at the amount of homeless that we see. Look at what has been created here. Look at the amount of hatred that has been created here. Look at the amount of racism that's been created here. Look at the lack of shitty jobs that are available and the people that have to work more than one job to survive. Okay, look at the last 15 jobs report. 14 have been revised lower. So again, you can keep telling me, keep reading those stupid shit numbers that are published by the BLS, okay, another piece of shit organization, which, part of the government, Bureau of Labor and Statistics. What kind of numbers do you think they're going to report? Okay, the fact is walk around the street and see what's going on. Okay, but again, there are those that do realize, and again, you cannot excuse a party that can't say anything good about themselves, that all they want to do is go after their opponents, okay, and try to keep RFK off the ballot, okay, and try to put Trump in jail. Well, he ain't going to jail so fast, and he's going to be involved in this election, and we'll see where it ends up at. But again, you cannot imagine the crushing that is happening to the middle class, and you'll be surprised at how many people will switch over the aisle because of what's going on in Israel, because of what's happening to the Jews. I mean, the Jews have been a big supporter of the Democratic Party, and nothing wrong with that, except that you can't blindly vote for an empty chair of hatred that hates you as who you are. Okay, it is known that Biden is an Israel and a Jew hater, anyways. So why would any Jew who with any real conscience vote for that imbecile? Okay, so you look at, again, you're going to have you're in the start of an economic collapse with the war that has resumed in the Middle East. You've seen the price of oil soar. You've seen the stock markets under pressure, and I'm not predicting that they're going down tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow they could be anything. Who knows where they're going to be? But you can see the warning signs that we have pointed out week after week of things to think about, okay? And because when we do our market report, we do disclose our position exactly. It's not that I'm telling you that I'm short or long. I'm telling you exactly what my positions are at the time that you get to watch this Bubba's Bottom Line. But you can see that we are not having good representation. The world is laughing at us. We have more hatred in this country than ever before, and it is more dangerous to be a citizen of the United States than ever before as well, as they continue to keep the borders open and let the criminals come in, let the spies come in, let the Chinese come in, and let everybody come in without even being checked out to see who they are, to see if they should be here. Hey, if that's the country you want, well, that's the country you're going to get, and I am against it, and I think it's about time we did something. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday, April 21st. We're going to stop it out for a break and be back with our market report right after the break. What's up, kids? What's going on? And of course, as you know, I talk about a couple of brokerage partners that we have each and every week. They're sponsors of this program. And again, I have many brokers, but I do recommend these. And again, it's up to you to do your own due diligence. I do have these as places I go to, and they do a great job, which is why I refer them. And of course, the first is Capital Trading Group for commodities and futures. Look, the bottom line is if you're trading commodities and futures, you should have a commodities and futures account. You should not mix an equity account with a futures and commodity account because it does not work. It is not flowing well. And typically a specialist in brokerage, in equity brokerage versus futures is different. Check out Capital Trading Group for futures and options. Futures and commodities. They are our partner in a couple of our programs. They do all of our letter of direction trading. info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And of course, there's TRADIER Brokerage, who is $10 a month flat. Our programs, many of our programs have free software usage that does the executions automatically based on what we tell you to do. And of course, our hedging software has a licensing fee. But again, at the end of the day, your brokerage fee is $10 a month flat. Check them out at TRADIER. The links posted on the side. And of course, Wealth Charts, one of our new partners, which is a nice platform and a group of good education. And then, of course, there is our high school program, which if you'd like to help us out, we are diligently trying to put it back together because, again, this government has prevented us and allows us these moronic teachers that don't want to be there, that are just taking the money and trying to teach your children how to be psychopaths and how to be people that are anti-American. But in the meantime, check out our high school program because we want to at least try to give them some financial literacy. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and our market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, April the 21st, and of course, markets got trashed last week. Again, we just continue to talk about the potential, and of course, we stand by our original prediction, which is about a year old now, and it may be 2 years old before it happens, but that the markets will take a haircut of 50 to 70%. But again, that's not right now. But right now, the markets are headed south. I would certainly expect to see some sort of rally this week at some point. Again, a lot's going to depend on what happens tonight before going into the opening and how the markets are going to react. Again, anytime there's this much tension in the Middle East, which has effects on oil and other things, we don't know. We can't predict what that's going to do. But I would suspect that oil is going higher and that the markets are going lower. But again, I would expect a bounce here at some point, after Thursday and Friday's debacles. We've lost quite a bit of ground. You see a stock like NVIDIA now down to 700 and change. And we did say here on these airwaves that it's going into the 600s. And well, we're pretty close right now. So we'll see. But in the meantime, we are short, all four major indices. Now, again, it doesn't mean that we'll be short tomorrow morning, all four, because, again, we have the ability now to go flat. So there are times we are flat. But right now, the actual direction or the trend is short, and we would be short. The dollar, which we no longer are trading it, it's not because we're worried about the dollar. It's because it's the cost of trading it through New York, which we just choose not to give them that money. It's just stupid. So, but the dollar, you would be a buyer of the dollar. The dollar is long. The euro currency is short. In the Bitcoin is short. But of course, we called and said we expected a target of 60,000. It got right down to 60,000 and popped a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see one more test of 60,000. Notes and bonds, we are short both. And of course, you want to talk about a rate cut? There ain't going to be no rate cut. The only rate cut you're going to get is if you had a political decision that they decide to use politically, or you're going into a recession or depression. There'll be no legitimate rate cut as everybody was promised, which is, again, another reason that you can see some acceleration in this selling. In the metals, gold, silver, platinum, all higher, all running, all in uptrends. We would be long them all. Now, we don't trade platinum anymore because it's not liquid enough for our group, but you would be long it if you were trading it. In the grain markets, you'd be long corn, you'd be long wheat, and short soybeans right now, but they may change shortly here. In the cattle, you would be short. Or actually, I'm short. We don't trade cattle anymore. I'm short. Hogs, I'm long. And of course, in the natural gas market, you'd be long. Crude oil, you'd be short right now, based on the current trend. And copper, you'd be long. And of course, in the softs, cocoa. Jesus, what a move this has been. I've never seen anything like this. Cocoa's up like 150% in the last 6 months. Amazing what the price is going to be for chocolate now. But cocoa, we'd be long. Cotton, we'd be short. Sugar, we're short. OJ, we're long. And coffee, we're long. And at the end of the day, like I said, I can't make predictions of when it's going to happen, but you can certainly see the overall problems in this country that are be created by the progressives, by the squad, by the America haters. It can't be good for the markets in the long run. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Top Bubba Horowitz. We're going to step out here for a break and come back with our market commentary, and the end of the show. We'll be right back with my commentary. Well, kids, listen, again, I'm not going to go through the whole spiel. Just remember, Capital Trading Group, Trade Your Brokerage, wall charts in our high school program. Everything is listed for you on the sides and on the bottom. All we want you to do is give you an opportunity to find out ways to save money for yourself and to get better execution. Okay? If you don't like them, that's fine. But it would behoove you to check them out just to do your own due diligence. Okay? Anyways, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and, of course, my commentary. Welcome back. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz. And of course, this week I'll be in Vegas for our special convention and seminar. But in the meantime, I think that we have to talk about this protesting that's being allowed. It is not peaceful protesting, but it's amazing how the party in power today will make these protests sound peaceful when they're not peaceful. And I think that many people are feared for their life when they go out. And this reminds me of what happened with Black Lives Matter when they talked about how the protests were peaceful as there was looting and fires and murders and killing. And again, we're seeing the same thing again. And I cannot believe that if you're a donor of Columbia University, you're not pulling your donations when you watch the Hamas, the pro-Palestinian rallies against Israel, the little tiny little country in the world that is our number one ally that for some reason we know that Joe Biden hates Israel, but for some reason that we can't seem to get Israel taken care of. Of course, there are some on the left that are now pushing towards Israel, but I think that you see these in Dearborn, Michigan, death to America. I mean, of course, very heavily Hamas and Palestinian nation. So again, I don't understand how we as Americans can allow this type of protesting in our country, showing dramatic hatred for one of our number one allies. But again, that looks to be the new America, or probably soon to be the new CCP, Chinese Communist Party, because if it's up to Joe Biden, this will be a communist country sooner than you think. And you better think about it when you go to the polls next, because at the end of the day, I don't care who you are or what you think, you cannot be happy with what is happening in this country today. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Top Bubba Horowitz. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you back here, well, tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update, but of course, next Sunday with Bubba's Bottom Line. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.